Welcome. My name is Robert Martin, and I am a special instructor at Oakland University in the Department of Organizational Leadership. I'm the coordinator for the Masters of Educational Leadership program, and I work with the Central Office Certification program and mentor EDD and PhD students. I'm honored to be here to present for the 2020 virtual conference of the International Council of Professors of Educational Leadership. My topic today is student engagement in relation to capital development in minority, vulnerable, and marginalized students. I am a 38-year public school teacher and administrator. I worked as a high school choir teacher, high school assistant principal, middle school principal, leadership consultant at a regional service agency, and also as a central administrator for 3 different districts. During that time, I did some adjunct lecturing for Rochester University, Oakland University, University of Michigan Flint, and Lipscomb University. I'm currently a special instructor in educational leadership at Oakland University, and my research areas are cultural proficiency, achievement disparities, leadership, and student engagement. Going to be looking today at the possible relationship of student engagement to the development of capital in minority, vulnerable, and marginalized students, and the role that schooling may play in personal, social, and cultural capital development, and the role of personal, social, and cultural capital development in improving student achievement. The heuristic that you're looking at now is a model that my colleague, Dr. Nyland, and I created in taking Deci and Ryan's self-determination theory of relatedness, belonging, and autonomy, and looking at how that interacts with personal, social, and cultural capital, especially in adolescence. So with personal capital, we're talking about that capital that looks at the characteristics we're born with, our personality, the skills, our preferences, the values that we develop, and the identity that we hold of who we are. And realizing that that identity is influenced heavily by how others see us and who they say that we are. In our social capital, we are looking at our mindset and looking at how we are interacting first and foremost with our family, with our neighborhood environment, with the cultural and religious institutions that we may be involved in, the community activities that we do. All of these things develop our social capital, our interactions, not only with ourselves, but our interactions with others. And that leads right into cultural capital. The cultural capital is that capital that helps us to network and to build that community professionally and personally, that helps us to navigate and explore not only professionally and career-wise, but helps us to navigate and explore personally and ourselves. And where do we see ourselves fitting within the wider world? So I'm looking at this model, and when you see the words explore, develop, and navigate, that is to portray an active, dynamic, orbital type descriptive words that is continuous, so that we're just not doing this in the personal development stage, the personal capital, that we are navigating, developing, exploring our personal capital, our social capital, our cultural capital throughout our lives, and that it is increasingly important that we are aware of this as adolescents and are able to build on this, not only for our intrinsic and extrinsic motivation, but for our development into adulthood. The qualitative data sources that I looked at, we have a regional service agency in the Midwest that does a biannual survey of high school students. And I requested permission to use two randomly selected schools. The only criteria is that one school be predominantly white and another school predominantly black. The two schools equal to about 1,400 students that I reviewed their open-ended responses. Then also, we did a one-day snapshot of Reddit data, looking at keywords real, authentic, and engagement to be able to look at what the students were saying on those days and how they felt about engagement and how they felt about school. The broader study is a mixed method study, and there's quantitative data that will be included in the broader study and article. It's not going to be included in this presentation. The National Educational Longitudinal Study from 2018, about 10,000 students are included in this. There is one slide that I'd like to show you for you to look at that has an impact on what we're going to be looking at for the next few moments. As you are processing this slide, if you would look at the top line, the black dots going from left to right, and at the bottom line, the white circles or white dots that are going from left to right. This is looking at the relationship between family income and engagement. The further to the left, the lower the family income. The higher the academic engagement as self-reported. That top line tells us that poor black students do not feel limited by their family income with their academic engagement. The bottom line tells us that white students that are from lower income families do not feel as engaged academically as the white students as you go to the right that come from families that have a higher income. We're going to look at some of the self-reported words from the students. And these are broad themes that I garnered from my analysis of their open-ended responses. I'm relating these themes to Desi and Ryan. So relationships, I am connecting with relatedness. I will not be talking over as their comments come up to allow you to read and process. I take from this that teenagers have a facade that would lead us to determine that they are not interested in having a relationship with the teachers and counselors and principals at school. But in their self-reported comments in the survey and on Reddit, this is not what they're saying. They do want adults to ask and to inquire, and some would say to nag, to be a part of their life. This will help in their personal, social, and cultural capital development, which leads to higher engagement and higher student achievement. The next category, community, from my analysis, I'm relating to belonging from the Desi and Ryan. Their words now. I know these are only 1,400 students, but this was a common theme, the need to have a community, so that building a community of learners, or learning community within our classrooms, within our school, has far-reaching implications, positive implications for helping our students to not only build their own personal and social capital, but helping our students to become fully who they are, to become fully them. And my final area of thematic categorization, respect, which I am connecting with Deci and Ryan's autonomy. Respect is an area that we need to intentionally build into our school culture. Society is not teaching our adolescents how to have civilized dialogue. Schools must do it. We must be the change that we want to see. The students are calling for it. They want us to interact, but they want us to interact as equals of human beings. We know that teachers have the power. That is not the issue. This is not a power play. This is about helping them to become the best that they can be. On this chart, I'm looking at, on the left column, the Deci and Ryan relatedness, belonging, autonomy, and on the right column, the themes that I have from my analysis: relationships, community, and respect. In the middle, I'm looking at the capital development and how schools can make a difference with this. So with relationships and relatedness, a mentor, be that an older student, but preferably an adult, a caring adult, an insider agent in the school that can help them to determine, what is this school all about? What are the rules that I don't know about? Help develop their personal capital. In the middle, community and belonging. That social capital, that networking, that building up of a sense of belonging. Cresswell talks about place or space. Do we want school to be a space or a place? Space is somewhere where students visit, where they observe. Place is somewhere where they belong and where they feel embraced and welcomed. And in the final row, respect and autonomy, that respect can be a mediator in helping students to develop their cultural capital and helping them to launch the rest of their lives. The significance, I feel, is that we have some myths that socioeconomic status is the most important variable. And we have myths that interventions are one size fits all. I would encourage you to tailor your interventions to fit your school and your student population, and to not let lower socioeconomic status assume that that means lower academic engagement or lower potential. I also believe that social capital can be a bridge. That social capital can be a bridge between personal and cultural capital. That, especially for our minority, vulnerable, and marginalized students, that social capital can help to connect those two and help them to merge and to explore and develop and navigate their world. Thank you so much. Special thanks to Dr. Julia Smith and Dr. Rod Nyland at Oakland University for their guidance and collegiality. Thank you for listening. Please take my email down and write me if you have questions or feedback. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Take care.